Yes, what's happening, people? And welcome back to Gav Goes In. Guys, big up yourselves each and every time. Big up, big up, big up. So, listen, well, where do we start, man? I know there's going to be a lot of Arsenal fans. Obviously, you guys, yeah. And again, I can't really blame you guys, because this is what football does. And as I said, man, the fact that you guys now are. What's up with this camera? 1 second, guys. It always does this for some reason. There we go. So yeah, the fact that you guys are top of the league by 4 points, and listen, all the team around. I mean, all the other teams around. It's crazy, man, to think that. Yeah, it's crazy to think that there's. Yeah, like Arsenal 4 points clear the top, and Liverpool, um, Chelsea, Man City all getting beat as well. Big up to Fitz, big up to Daniela as well. Big up, guys, for coming on each and every time. So yeah, to think that, and big up to Barbara Joseph as well. To think that, yeah, to think that all those teams lost and Arsenal have obviously capitalized on the fact that those teams, yeah, literally, I've lost ground on Arsenal. And again, Arsenal not really playing any scintillating football, you would say, by any means. But I think we have to be honest and we have to say Arsenal are getting the job done. As much as like, obviously throughout history, Arsenal have been rivals of Manchester United. I think it's safe to say, man, that Arsenal are just getting the job done at the moment. Do I believe Arsenal go on and win the Premier League title? I'm still gonna say no. I still don't. I still haven't really seen much from Arsenal to say that they've got anything that the other teams really that should be up there have got anything to worry about. I think Arsenal's defense, as we know, have been very solid. I think it's one of them things. Their defense is going to be the platform, that is going to get them over the line in the end if it does happen. You think of Gabriel, Saliba, Timber, Calafiori. They've got Hincapié there as well now. You've got Mosquera that can come in. Obviously, David Raya in goal as well. So you think of that kind of you think of those players there really. They'll be the reason why Arsenal might go close. But the way I'm seeing things at the moment, I don't think Arsenal win the league. I'm still going to stick to my guns and say I don't see it happening. But again, man, it's one of them things where we just don't know. We just don't know because, 4 points clear at the top of the table. City getting beat by Aston Villa yesterday. And then you look at the fact that Liverpool, again, 4 games lost in a row. Again, we're not really going to go too much into Liverpool because I'm going to be live with Jonas. I'm going to be live with Jonas at 5:30 today. Obviously, he's got some questions to answer. So, yeah, we are going to get into that a bit later. But, yeah, listen, I think the fact that Arsenal have managed to capitalize, Eberechi Eze as well, getting his first goal of the season for Arsenal in the league. And I think it's one of them things, man, that Arsenal can be looking at it, thinking to themselves that, they're gonna mount a challenge this season. As I said, man, I don't think they are going to get over the line, but we'll have to wait and see what happens, man. But guys, let me know what you think of Arsenal against Palace yesterday, because I mean, I only watched the second half. But to be fair, to me, it seemed like a bit of an even game. I think obviously Arsenal went ahead. When did they go ahead? Was it in the first half? Yeah, they were 1 up in the first half. But again, the second half, from what I see, I just think Arsenal do what Arsenal do. They defended well. And I think it was one of them things that they just held on in the end, man, to be honest with you. Palace are a decent team. They are a decent team. But as we know with Arsenal's structure in defence, You know, yeah, I think they were a lot more solid. So again, Tottenham winning as well. Forgot about Tottenham. Obviously, Tottenham into third place as well after the 3-0 win yesterday. But yeah, as I said, man, I think it's one of them things where yeah, we have to give credit to Arsenal, man, because Arsenal are just, they're not playing well, as I said, but they are just, putting teams away at the moment. So yeah, I mean, all you can do is Balotelli and Will Smith. What's going on there? Sorry, guys, I just see Balotelli standing next to Will Smith. I think it was at Ballers League. But so yeah, as I said, man, I think Arsenal not really playing any kind of scintillating football, but 3 points at this time is what's important, and I definitely do think yeah, they are definitely the team in the ascendancy right now. So yeah, man, it's crazy to think that they're top, man. And look at the top four. You've got Sunderland in fourth, Bournemouth in second, Tottenham in third. I mean, after 9 games, I don't think there's no one that would have thought that would have been the top four. So but again, there's a long way to go, man. Especially for Arsenal, the league leaders. I think there was a few decent performances from them. I think Gabriel again. When I said the best defender in world football or in the league, for me, I'm still going to say Matthias de Ligt right now. But Gabriel is running him close, to be fair, because, I think, all the talk was about William Saliba being Arsenal's best defender. I think it's quite obvious now, and I think the majority of people would say that, Gabriel is their key defender, because I think they could afford, Saliba probably getting injured and still thinking they'll be all right. But I think if Gabriel gets injured, this is where I think they might come unstuck, because Gabriel's their leader at the back there as well. He's a goal threat. And yeah, right now, as I said, with Matthias de Ligt, you're looking at the two best defenders, not just in the league, but probably in world football right now. And I don't think there'll be many people that would even argue that. So so yeah, I thought he played well. Who else was good? Eze was good. Eze was good. Obviously got the goal. And to be fair, his finish, was very good. Kind of like the half light little volley. But yeah, listen, against his former club, man. And again, everything is weird because everything just fell perfectly for Arsenal. You think of City getting beat, Liverpool getting beat, Chelsea getting beat, and obviously Eze scoring against his former club. They couldn't have written a better weekend, if we're being honest. So yeah, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, as I said, man, I think 4 points clear of Bournemouth in second. Yeah, listen, there's going to be tougher tests. I'm not sure who Arsenal's next game is. Let me see who Arsenal's next game is in the Premier League. Because obviously they got Carabao Cup this week. So the next game in the league, let's have a check. So Arsenal's next game in the league is against Burnley. Burnley away. I mean, so they got Brighton in the Carabao Cup. When's that? That is Wednesday. And then they got Burnley away in the league. Now the thing is, Burnley have been on decent form. Again, picking up the 3-2 win yesterday against who was it? Wolves. And now they'll be at home. I think Arsenal should win that game, but I don't think it's going to be easy. Because again, Arsenal in the Premier League, they're not a free scoring team in the Premier League, but defensively, they've been very good. So yeah, I think it's one of them things where we'll have to wait and see what they do, man. But I think the Burnley game, they should win that. I think they should win that. I'm gonna say 1 or 2-0 probably. But it depends. It depends because Burnley defensively ain't too bad. Obviously they proved that last season in the Championship. Obviously coming to the Premier League is different, but Yeah, I definitely think, man, they're gonna have to set up in a way to nullify Arsenal. Because Arsenal will be confident. And again, they've got the Brighton game in mid on Wednesday. Who knows? They could pick up some injuries. You never know what happens. But yeah, listen, man, I definitely do think Arsenal will be happy with what they're doing at the moment. Man City getting beat by Aston Villa. I didn't see the game, but I think it's one of the things with Man City. They have to be disappointed with that because, I mean, their record at Aston Villa ain't great anyway. But I think for me, I'm still going to say City win the league. I'm still going to stick my neck out and say that. But I think games like that is where they need to pick up draws because I think Aston Villa at home are quite a decent team at home. So I don't think many teams will go there and pick up 3 points comfortably. So I think if Man City would have got a point, I think that would have been a decent point away from home. So yeah, I think obviously them getting beat, it's one of them things. But yeah, let's see, man. Let's see, because I think City now find themselves in fifth. I think they're on 16 points. I think in fifth. So yeah, I think they're gonna need to. Yeah, they're gonna need to get a winning run together, man, because they've been up and down this season. So yeah, it's just one of them things. But Matty Cash getting the goal for Aston Villa, and yeah, man, I think it's one of them things where look how they've turned it around. Look how they've turned it around. Aston Villa. I think the fact that there was talk about Unai Emery, and now where's that? Matty Cash actually signed an extension today, actually as well. How crazy is that? But I think the fact that not Matty Cash, that Unai Emery, was someone that you know there was talk about him being moved on. I think they've won their last 4 games, I believe. So that's them shooting up the table. And again, he's a very good manager, Unai Emery, and I do expect Aston Villa, to climb that table very quick. I'm not sure where they are now. Let me have a quick check actually to see where they are. So I want to say they might be in the top half now after their recent form. Let's have a check. Aston Villa are eighth. So they're eighth in the table. And they're on, yeah, look at that. They're on 16 points. Who would have thought that? So Villa are actually on the same points as Liverpool. No, sorry, they're on 15 points. Sorry, yeah, they're on 15 points, 1 point behind Man United, same points as Liverpool. Who would have thought that? Liverpool won 5 games in a row, start the season to be top, and now Villa are now on same points. So again, this table, this league table, it's very tight, man. I think from where did I see it? Yes, yeah, it was. So if we're looking at from 11th, well, let's say 12th, yeah, or 13th. So let's say 13th, Brighton, yeah. So from 13th, which is Brighton, who are on 12 points, there's only what? 4 points. Sorry, 5 points. It's 5 points between 13th and 4th. 5 points. That's nothing. So it just shows you, man, that this table, I mean this league table is going to be a lot of teams changing places quite frequently because, as I said, from Brighton, who are 13th, who are on 12 points, you've got Newcastle on 12 points, Brentford are on 13, Crystal Palace are on 13, Chelsea are on 14, Villa and Liverpool on 15, United and City are on 16, and then you've got Sunderland and Tottenham on 17, Bournemouth on 18, Arsenal on 22. So again, man, it just shows you that this league table is tight, man. And any team that puts any team, yeah, really from Brighton from 13th, yeah. I mean, even the likes of Everton, Leeds are on 11 points, and even Burnley are on 10 points. So this table is tight, yeah. But any team that puts together 2 wins in a row, they're gonna shut up the table. So this is why I don't think there's anything to buy into the fact that Arsenal are top after 9 games. because it's only 9 games, and you can see the points total already. There's not much difference in it. So yeah, listen, man, it's going to be an interesting season, man. But obviously, Carabao Cup this week, and then back to the Premier League on the weekend. So yeah, man, it's mad. It's mad. Big up to Daniela as well for the super sticker. Big up yourself. Big up to Julie Fenwick as well. Fitz says, what do you think is a realistic league position for United at the end of this season? Realistic for me, I said it at the start. Yeah, I don't rate this manager, regardless of the last 3 results in a row. I just don't rate him. But what I'm gonna say, with the squad that Man United have, I said at the start of the season, I expect between 6. Yeah, I think nothing lower than 6. I'm gonna say. Again, with this manager, I don't rate him, and I don't really expect Man United to finish in the top half. I know at the moment United are what, I believe they might be 7th or something like that. But I just don't rate this manager, and I think it's one of them things as well that with Manchester United, you know, I'm not convinced. I know they've won 3 games in a row, but if we're being honest, let's take them games in isolation and look at the fact that United have got away with a few. The Liverpool game, they rode their luck. Fair enough. Brighton yesterday, even the goal that Mbeumo scored, his first goal, possibly that's a foul on who was it? Who was the player? I think, what's his name? Probably a foul on Jorginho Ruta, from Luke Shaw. And again, there was mistakes in there all over the place as well. So I think, yeah, you can look at it and say Man United were fortunate in that game, the Liverpool game as well, and in the Sunderland game at home. Again, I didn't see that game, but fair enough, 2-0. So I don't think United are out of the woodworks yet. I'm hearing people say, has Amarim turned it around? Not for me. Not for me. Again, the next 2 games against Nottingham Forest and Tottenham, if he does win those 2 games, then people may have an argument to say that. But I think at the moment it's still too early, man. Definitely too early to be calling that. Big up to Sham. Big up Sham each and every time. Liquid H says, any injury update? Injuries on what? What, on Manchester United? I think the only player that's possibly injured at the moment for United or not fully fit, I think might be Lisandro Martinez. I think everyone else might be fit. So yeah, yeah, that's what I think, man. I've not heard of any injury updates, put it that way. But I think everyone might be fit. Big up to Barbara Joseph as well, each and every time for the super sticker. Big up. So I expect European football. So that's top 7, I think, but top 5. Yeah, I think right now as it stands, I think Man United should be aiming for top 4. The way the table's looking, do I believe they get top 4 under this manager? I don't. But you can clearly see the quality of players that Man United have, especially in attack. You think of Ahmad, you think of Cunha, Mbeumo, Xerxes, Sesko. There's some real quality in that front line. And this is what I'm trying to say to you. The fact that you've got those players, the manager really, you can be looking at him as getting away with it. Because as I said, man, when you've got better quality players, sometimes those better quality players get you over the line, regardless if you're a poor manager or not. So again, this manager's getting away with it for me, man. He's he has been very, very lucky, but I'm still going to remain the same. I'm not going to be overboard and start saying, this manager deserves more time, or, he's turned it around, because he hasn't. So as I said, man, yeah, let's just remain cautious and see what happens. Yeah, I see that De Bruyne's out for 4 months. I see that. So if anyone didn't know, Kevin De Bruyne took a penalty yesterday. Napoli beating was it yesterday or Saturday? I think yesterday or Saturday. Napoli beating Inter Milan 3-1, and De Bruyne took a penalty to put Napoli one up, and then pulled his hamstring. So yeah, it's been confirmed that he's out for 4 months. So that's crazy because you know, is he going to be fit for the World Cup? Fully fit for the World Cup? It's going to be touch and go, man. So let's see. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think Man United anything less than Europa League places is a failure for the season. But I think what people need to realize is that this league this season, you can see by the points at the moment, it's gonna be an up and down because everyone's beating everyone. I think the only team right now that you would say are showing more form is Arsenal. They're the only team really that is showing form where you would say, you know what, fair enough, man. They deserve to be top right now. But again, am I saying Arsenal win the league? No, not for me, because I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot of Arsenal this season, and again, I think it's their defense is what is keeping them relatively at the top. Because I think going forwards, I think they're not convincing. They've added Gyökeres in, who's been poor. They've added Eze. I think Eze is a top player. They've still got obviously Odegaard who's out injured, Havertz as well. And again, when Havertz and Odegaard do come back, it's going to be very interesting to see what Arteta does, because you've got the captain and you've got and Madueke as well, who's out injured. But you've got the captain and you've got Havertz, who he likes. Is he just going to put them straight back into the team when they're fit? I think if you look at Arsenal's squad's very good. They've got more or less two players for every position. And again, any team that has that, are looking to be serious this season. But I definitely do think that it's going to be there's going to be bumps in the road for Arsenal. I think at the moment, they're just getting over the line. But as I said, man, it's one of them things. Let's see how it develops, man. What is the table looking like for Man United and Liverpool, Gav? So Man United are actually ahead of Liverpool by a point. So I believe United are. Let's have a quick check. So big up to Mike as well. So Man United are 6th, Liverpool are 7th. Yeah, so there's a point in it. So again, after 9 games, there's not really much to take away from that, really. I think Liverpool are in problems. Again, guys, we're going to be live at 5:30 with Jonas. Obviously, Jonas is a Liverpool fan. So make sure you guys come through. And again, man, he's under pressure. So we're going to apply some more pressure to him today, man. So yeah, make sure you guys come through at 5:30. And I want to get his take on how abysmal Liverpool have been, man, because it's not looking good. Let's just say that. So yeah. So it's Arsenal's title to lose. I don't know about that. If it's their title to lose. If Arsenal had shown for me this season that they were the team to beat, then I'd probably see that. But I just think Arsenal are just getting over the line. I don't think there's been any game really this season where I would say, you know what, Arsenal have been convincing. I'll be honest. I don't think they've been convincing in any game this season. I just think they've just done what they've had to do. I think what's more concerning for Arsenal is the fact that, their two rivals that everyone would have said for the start of the season, which is Liverpool and Man City, in both games against them, it's been 1 loss and 1 draw. And even the draw against Man City, I think we have to say that they were fortunate to get the draw. So that's where I'm looking at. The Newcastle game, again, away from home, it's a very good result. But let's face it, Gabriel should have been sent off. And if Gabriel gets sent off, he doesn't score the goal, and Arsenal don't win that game either. So again, there's little things in it that people will need to, take heed of, really, because I know it's looking all good for Arsenal right now, but again, man, there is a long way to go, and it's not been convincing by any means. Who do you think is the most informed player at the moment? What in the league? Is well, you know what? It's difficult because if we're talking about, it depends. Are we talking about defensively or attacking wise? Because I think the outstanding attacker right now, I mean, you have to say probably Erling Haaland at the moment. He's probably the most informed attacker right now in terms of numbers. Defenders, again, Matthias de Ligt for me, no doubt. I know people will say Gabriel, but I'm saying Matthias de Ligt. Yeah, it's difficult, man. It's difficult. Guys, what do you guys think? Who's been the most informed player this season at the moment? Because I don't think it's easy to even say. I think Moises Caicedo deserves a shout as well. There's been some decent performances, man. But I'll probably say Erling Haaland, man, probably from an attacking point. That's because of the goals he's got. I don't really think there's been any outstanding player this season so far. Again, we're only like 9 games in, so Riley's World says we are the most hated team in the league. It doesn't matter how we play. I disagree. I don't think Arsenal are the most hated team in the league. I think their fans are probably the most hated because Arsenal's fans are deluded, and it's one of them things where it's one of them things for me that Arsenal, you have to say they do deserve to be top because they've been the most consistent. But what I would say is that the football they're playing ain't great, but it's getting them top at the moment. So that's what matters. That is what matters. And can they sustain it for the whole season? Not for me, because football like that's not sustainable. You look at the Fulham game, yeah. The Fulham game, they were fortunate as well. A set piece won it, really. And again, me as a Man United fan, I'm not hating on what Arsenal are doing because, again, Arsenal are getting the job done, and well done to them. But I just don't think it can last. And this is when you're going to see what they've got, man. So. United have relatively easy games until they meet City again in January. Let's see how many points United can get until then. But again, I don't think there's any easy games in this league. I disagree with that because I think it's when you're looking at the points total this season. And let me go through it again because let's go through. So look, even if you let's go to Burnley, who are in 10th, yeah, and then you got Fulham. I mean, Fulham are doing poor this season. Fulham are in 17th position on 8 points. Nottingham Forest are on 5 points, and West Ham are on 4, and Wolves are bottom on 2. Yeah, but let's go to Burnley in 16th. Yeah, on 10 points. Now Burnley are only 6 points from Manchester United in 6. Yeah, 6 points, which is nothing. That's just 2 wins together. Yeah, and then if you go up to the top 4 from Sunderland, it's 7 points. So Burnley, who are 16th, are only 6 points off of Manchester United in 6th place. And again, that just shows you how quick this table can turn because all it's going to take is a couple of teams putting 2 wins together, and then you're going to realize that there's a few teams that are not going to be where you probably expect them to be. So again, 9 games, don't take nothing into it. Nothing like there's still a lot of football to be played, hell of a lot of football to be played. So Riley's what says we play tick-a-taka and lose, you all find fault. If we win ugly, it's the same. So Arsenal don't play tick-a-taka for one. Yeah. So let's just ignore that comment. And again, I'm not saying about Arsenal not winning. Arsenal are top. Like, they deserve to be top. No one's not saying that. But all I'm saying is that can it be sustainable? And this is why Arsenal fans just don't understand, because no one's hating on your team. No one has time to hate on your team. We can't hate on your team because you guys don't win anything. So why is there hate? Yeah. The facts are, you guys are top, not playing great football. But credit to you because you're just getting the wins on the board. And that is what counts right now. But to say that, we all find fault and all that kind of stuff, no one cares about Arsenal like that. So I'm not quite sure where you've come to that conclusion, but no one cares about Arsenal. Arsenal are top, well done. Let's see if they can maintain it. Guys, come on, make sure we're smashing the likes. There's only 7 likes and there's 10 of you in at the moment. Smash the like button, sub to the channel, and make sure you share the channel, guys, as well. The league is going to be interesting this season. It's really open for any team to get it. Exactly what I said. I mean, to think that you've got Sunderland and you've got Bournemouth in 2nd and 4th position after 9 games, again, is it really telling you a true reflection of where these teams might finish? It's not. I mean, it's 9 games, I think when it starts hitting 20 games, this is when I think it's going to start taking shape. Because I think after 9 games, you can't really judge anything because everyone's beating everyone. Everyone, like a lot of teams have got the World Cup coming up as well. When it comes to the season running, a lot of players might even have their eye on the World Cup, trying not to get injured. So these things will play its part. So as I said, man, there's a long way to go, man. But 9 games into the season, let's not really get carried away because, as I said, even Manchester United, winning 3 games on the bounce, if Man United don't beat Nottingham Forest and Tottenham, and these other teams around Manchester United end up picking up points and results, you're quickly going to see Man United shoot right down the table. And all of a sudden, these people that are saying give Amorim a chance, you're now going to hear them, very, very quiet. So it's important, man, to remain, remain calm, I would say. As Ronaldo would say, calmer, calmer. So it's important to remain that, man. Arsenal are being carried by their defense going forward. There's nothing going for them. I agree. I agree. Their defense has been good, man, to be fair. Gabriel is the main reason, really. But as I keep saying, when they've played against Man City and Liverpool, it's 1 point in 2 games. And they've got to play City away and they've got to play Liverpool at home. Newcastle at home as well. There's tough Man United at home. There's still North London derby. So there's still tough games for Arsenal to play. So there's nothing really to take away from this season at the moment for 9 games. There's not for me, Gav, is your stance still the same on Amorim? Yeah, listen, I'm not going to change my opinion after 3 games. I think if there's any fan out there that was Amorim out and now they're saying Amorim needs to stay, or if there's fans out there that was saying that I'm Amorim in and they're now saying, see, we told you so, or whatever, for me, it's premature because I've not really taken anything away from them 3 games to say that Amorim's doing a good job, because he's not. The facts are, if we're getting on the 3 games of Sunderland, Liverpool, and Brighton, the Sunderland game was 2-0. Again, I didn't see that game, so I can't really have a judgment on that. The Liverpool game, as I said already, they were very fortunate. Even though we won the game against, obviously, our rivals, I'm happy, but it was fortunate. Cody Gakpo hitting the post twice, missing an open goal, really, the header, and then obviously being involved in the shot that come off the bar. United had chances as well, but that game could have gone very different. So I'm not going to sit here and say all of a sudden now Amorim needs to stay. And again, the Brighton game, if anyone watched that game in the first half, Brighton were unlucky, but mistakes cost them. Again, the fact that Brighton want to play out at every opportunity, they're inviting pressure themselves. So a lot of the problems came from them, not because United played some outstanding football. I think a lot of it came from them. And what was more worrying for me was the fact that United were 3-0 up, and then Brighton managed to get it back to 3-2. And obviously, Mbeumo made it 4-2 at the end against the run of play. But again, these things are concerning because against better teams, United not going to have it like that. So, but the one positive I would say, Matthias de Ligt at the back there, for me, is the best centre-back in the game right now on current form. And then when you've got the attack of Ahmad, Mbeumo, Cunha, you got Sesko, Xerxes not even getting many minutes. Kobe's on the bench as well. Listen, you have to be happy. But I'll keep stressing, You know, there is going to be tougher tests ahead for United, and this manager is not out of the woods. Not for me. You know, I'm not going to change my mind because he's won 3 games in a row. You know, it's not. It's not that for me. I'm just going to wait, and I'm just going to take one game at a time and just judge it off of that. The very fact here that certain players don't play, which are the better footballers, I'm never really going to be on board with Amorim in the first place. So yeah, as I said, I've said what I've had to say about Amorim and the system and how certain players are not being used. So it is what it is, man. We have to just wait and see what this manager does. And as I said, I think any fan really that's saying Amorim has to stay or get given more time, it really shows me really that you're not really sure of your opinion, or you know, you're just going with wherever the wind takes you. So is what it is, man. Broderick says Gabriel. Nubis says Semenyo. Yeah, Semenyo's been very good. To be fair, Semenyo's been probably if we're taking away Erling Haaland's goals, Semenyo's probably been one of the most consistent attackers in the league this season. You know, he's a goal threat, he's a physical threat, he's got pace, and Bournemouth are second in the league, man. So yeah, listen, Semenyo's a good shout, man. Very good shout. You know, obviously there's talk about Semenyo going to like Man United being interested. I heard Liverpool. I've heard other teams. Who knows, man? I mean, I wouldn't want Semenyo at Man United personally, because if I'm looking at a 4-2, well, if I'm looking at a 4-2-3-1 system, if this manager gets sacked, Semenyo on the left hand side would be good, to be fair. But you got Cunha there, so yeah, and obviously it's going to cost a lot of money. So yeah, but he's had a very good season so far, man. But again, we're 9 games in, so let's just see what happens. So Arsenal fans are all delusional apart from Lumi. Nah, let's not do that, man. She's one of them as well. She's definitely delusional. Like, you don't even know what she's been messaging me in my comments, saying to me that all this other nonsense. So yeah, listen, she knows. She knows. She's definitely delusional. She's definitely delusional, man. She thinks Arsenal are going to win it all. That's delusional. But listen, let her have her time, man. I've told her already. When it all comes crashing down, as Hulk Hogan said, you know, we're gonna have to be here, man, as a community, and give her that shoulder to cry on, man. Because I promise you this now, yeah. And you guys have heard me say it right now. What's the time? It's 1:10. Yeah, Monday, 1:10. You know, we've been going for what, 38 minutes now. Arsenal are not winning no Champions League or no league title. Yeah, you've heard it here first. So when that happens, we're gonna see Lumi Rain. You know, we're gonna see her meltdown. And as I said, I'll be here laughing. I promise you that. But listen, yeah, she's definitely delusional. Yeah, Cunha has been brilliant. He's a top player, Cunha, man. Listen, let's not worry about Sham, man. His team they're in turmoil, man. I've got Jonas coming on at 5:30. So listen, he's gonna be coming on with a massive grin. It's gonna be the grim of shame. Yeah, because to think that Liverpool were top of the league, 5 out of 5, signing Florian Wirtz, Isak, Kirkes, Frimpong, Ekatike, you know, won the league last season, and now they find themselves behind Manchester United. Wow. So listen, we're gonna talk about him. Big up to Mike, says Gav, thoughts on Baleba. I'm glad you've asked that, to be fair. Listen, let's talk about his performance against Manchester United, because he was poor, very poor against United. I think he got booked as well. He come off. Yeah, he wasn't great. He wasn't great. But again, I think the easy thing to do as a flip-flop fan would be like, yeah, I don't want Baleba no more. You know, so I'm not gonna say that. You know, I still think Baleba will be a massive upgrade and an asset to this Man United team with his energy. But there's no denying him against United. He was poor. He was very poor. You know, losing possession, careless in possession as well. with Baleba, as we know, he's got a lot of energy and he's very good at interceptions. But I think his performance as a whole, it wasn't great. But definitely, I still want United to sign him. So I'm not going to change my mind after one game, because I think if you're doing that as a fan, that just changes after a couple of games, or if you're changing it because he's played against you and he wasn't great, I think that's poor. But yeah, I still want Baleba at Man United, but there's no denying he was poor the other night. So yeah. So here we go. Right. So Riley's World says, you support Man U and said we don't win nothing. You last won the title in 2013, mates. Yeah. And again, Riley must be 14, I'm guessing. He must be 14, because at what point did I say Man United are going to win a league title? That's the first thing. You're going back to 2013, the last time United won a league title. Yeah, that was more recent than Arsenal. Yeah. Not to mention, we've won trophies more recent than Arsenal. So again, when people come onto the channel, at least think what you're going to say, because I'm pretty sure, yeah, everyone in the chat, and again, I know a few of you have probably answered the question already, but the fact that Riley comes on there and says you support Man U and said we don't win nothing, you last won a title in 2013, it's like, yeah, we last won a title in 2013, which was before you. Like, what are you talking about? Like, and then not to mention, we've won trophies last before you. Like, come on, Riley, man. Come on here and do better, because you're embarrassing yourself. You're embarrassing yourself. Come on. And yeah, he is delusional, because that's just poor to come on and say that, man. Come on. You can do better than that, Riley. At least come on the channel and say something positive. But don't come on there and embarrass yourself, man. Come on. So Mike says, not going to lie, I thought the first 75 minutes was some of the best football we've played under this manager. However, we need to win our next two fixtures for me to at least give him some time. I mean, what I would say, yeah, because again, I've watched every Man United game Amarim's been in charge of, more or less. I think I probably can count maybe one or two games probably that I probably haven't seen the full game. But I think it's saying something when, people are thinking it's the best sort of football that United have played. That is saying something, because it shows that the standards are an all-time low. And again, we know the standards are low anyway. But from what I see of that game against against Brighton, Man United weren't really playing any scintillating football. They weren't. I think when you're a team that is ahead, the other team are going to have to come out, and it's going to make United obviously seem like they're on top in the game, because the other team are chasing the game. But what I want to see is, when the game's at a stalemate, what are United doing to try and break down the opposition? Because I think United's next league game against Nottingham Forest is going to be just that. How are United going to break down Nottingham Forest's defense at home? Obviously, Forest got beat by Bournemouth, so they're going to be at home in front of their fans. So Sean Dyche is going to want to, keep it nice and tight. And are Man United going to be able to break them down? That's what I want to know. So, as I said, yeah, from what I saw that game against Brighton, I didn't see really any great football. I think we have to look at the fact that United have got players in their team that can just win a game on their own. The likes of Ahmad, the likes of Mbeumo, the likes of Cunha. When you got players like that, you are gonna just think of it like this, yeah. Man United's front line had Garnacho and Højlund in there. We've now got Mbeumo and Cunha. So that just shows you the difference straight away. So, as I said, man, I don't think United played great football. I just think they just picked up 3 points against a Brighton team that really were their own doing, really, because they were poor, Brighton. I think Brighton are decent in possession, but there was no really attacking threat. Danny Welbeck scoring a free kick against his former club, and obviously a goal from the corner. The guy that actually came on, he's actually rated highly, Kostoulis. He looked very good when he come on. So I reckon he probably gets a start next game. But as I said, yeah, for me, I'm not taking nothing away from that game. I think as a Man United fan, let's be happy that, they are 3 points. I mean, 3 wins in a row. But listen, let's see what happens from now on, because it's all well and good being excited as a fan, but things can quickly turn, as we know. So let's see. Uh yeah, yeah, exactly. Arsenal's last league title was 2003. 2003, over 20 years ago, yeah. Well, listen, Riley, man, it's not easy, as I said. So Arsenal aren't winning the league. Their defense is good, but if they don't improve their attack, they aren't winning anything. The style of play is unsustainable. And that's exactly what I said. That's exactly what I said. They're the way they're playing at the moment ain't sustainable. And it's only gonna take them out. It's only a matter of time. I think with Arsenal, I think Arsenal are gonna come unstuck against a team that no one's expecting. And that's when I think frailties are gonna start to repair, because as it is right now, everything's going well, but it's only going to take a few, a few results that it could change it. So yeah, let's see, man. Let's see what happens. But there's a lot of football to be played, man. Hell of a lot of football. But let's move on to Chelsea, guys. Chelsea getting beat by Sunderland. Wow, who would have thought that? Because yeah, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. I think Chelsea went 1-0 up as well. I can't remember who scored the goal. Who scored for Chelsea? I can't remember. Was it? Oh, Garnacho scored. Yeah, bloody hell, Alejandro Garnacho. Yeah, Garnacho scored the first one. I think the keeper probably should have saved that though. I think the keeper with his legs was poor. But so Chelsea getting 1-0 up, and then Sunderland. Listen, Sunderland are fourth in the league, man, and they're showing why. They're. I mean, I have to admit, yeah, I said Sunderland will be one of the teams, going down. So I think all the promoted teams, I think the gap between the promoted teams and the print teams in the Premier League, I think is getting bigger. And I think so far this season, it's showing otherwise. I think all three teams coming up as well, have spent decent money. But Sunderland to find themselves in fourth place, who would have thought that, man? Who would have thought that? But yeah, Chelsea, man. I mean, Chelsea are just one of them teams. Yeah, it's like a roller coaster with them. Up and it's just you can't really predict what's going to happen. Like they're up and down, and to get beat at home by Sunderland is poor. Is very poor. And I mean, is Maresca under pressure? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, if there's any Chelsea fans in there, let us know if Maresca's under pressure, because Chelsea are what? I think Chelsea might be what, eighth, I believe. Are they eighth? No, ninth. So Chelsea are ninth. Look at that. Ninth on 14 points. After all the money that they've spent, they're ninth. But again, I said this the other day, yeah. When you think of the amount of money that Chelsea have spent, yeah, to have a front three of Garnacho, Neto, and Mark Gu is poor. Like, and again, I'm not saying that Neto's a decent player. Mark Gu's potential. Garnacho, I don't rate, yeah. But to think that Chelsea have spent all that money and they had a front three of Gu, Garnacho, and Neto against Sunderland, I mean, if you're a Chelsea fan, man, you must be thinking or scratching your head thinking, where's all this money gone? Because you can't have a front three like that and be satisfied, man. It's crazy. But yeah, it's poor, man. It's poor. I think a lot of reliance is on Moises Caicedo as well. I think Lavia, I don't know if Lavia's fit or if I don't know if he's injured again, but yeah, listen, man, there's too much over reliance for me on Moises Caicedo. He's a top player, man, but I just wonder if he suffers from burnout, because he's just being asked to do a lot of things. But again, man, Chelsea, yeah, they've been. I think their season as a whole so far has been poor, but Who knows, man? Who knows? But getting beat 2-1 by Sunderland, again, a great finish from Talby, Chemsline Talby from I think I'm from Club Brugge, rated highly as well. Great finish, but I think the concerning thing for Chelsea would have been how Sunderland actually scored that goal. Because if you look on the breakaway, yeah, you had Andre Santos was running with Talby. And then if you look at when Brian Brobby got the ball, he held the ball up, and then Caicedo and Santos were running back towards goal. Obviously, Reece James had to. I think there was another player that was incoming, I believe, and Reece James had his eye on him. But Talby, you can see, just run past Andre Santos. And to be fair, Caicedo was trying to get back, but it wasn't Caicedo's man; it was Santos's man. And then Talby, to be fair, a great finish, puts it through Reece James's legs, 2-1. So, yeah, man, listen, it's not great, man, but ninth place, Chelsea, yeah, crazy. Absolutely crazy. Forest, West Ham, and Wolves are the teams most likely to get relegated. You know what? I think the fact that Sean Dyche is there now, I don't think they'll get relegated, Nottingham Forest. I think Sean Dyche has proven plenty of times that he can keep his team in the league. So I think West Ham and Wolves at the moment, it's not looking great, but I definitely think Forest will stay up because I think Sean Dyche, especially at home, is going to make them tough to beat. So, yeah. So Chelsea can't really blame Maresca. They wasted money this summer by buying players not up to standard. I agree. I agree. I very much doubt again Maresca would have wanted half these players. To think that they've signed Garnacho, Gittins in one window is poor. Then you look at what's his name? I like Yoro Hato, but was he a Maresca signing? You know, who did Maresca actually want? That's what I'd like to know. But yeah, it's poor, man. It is poor recruitment, man, for me, especially in the attacking areas, because as much as Nicholas Jackson, wasn't really rated throughout, I think if we're being honest with you, yeah, I think to let Nicholas Jackson go and bring in Gittins and Garnacho is poor business, because for me, Nicholas Jackson's better than both of them on that left hand side, and he could have done a job, and he does a job through the middle as well. So that was poor for me. But the fact that they got João Pedro and Liam Delap, who's out injured, they didn't see the bigger picture. But if I'm them, I would have kept Nicholas Jackson, because Jackson's a handful, and I think in some of the games they've lost, Jackson could have been a difference maker in them games. So it's mad. It's mad. Yeah, Chalobah's poor, man. Well, he's not poor, but he's not a Chelsea defender, man, that we've come to being accustomed with throughout the years. 100%. He's someone that, when you're looking at Chelsea's team and you've got Chalobah as a centre back starting, yeah, he shouldn't really be that. He should be a squad player, if anything. But he's starting at centre back. You know what I mean? It's not great, man. It's not great. Not one bit. Yeah, big up Sham, man. Bournemouth have surprised me after losing Kepa, Howson, and Kirkes, currently second in the league. It just shows you what a good manager is. Andoni Iraola is a top manager, former player as well, Athletic Bilbao, right back. And the guy's an even better manager, because he's lost those three players, and if you look at those three players, one's gone to Arsenal, one's gone to Real Madrid, one's gone to Liverpool. They've gone to top clubs or the better teams in the league, and he's got them sitting in second place, and no one would have, no one, no one's talking about the fact that they've lost those players. You think of left back, they've got Truffert that's coming for Kirkes. I mean, Truffert's probably better than Kirkes. That's the funny thing. Was the Bournemouth system making Kirkes look good? Because Truffert, to be fair, his delivery and his athleticism up and down, he's possibly better than Kirkes right now. Obviously, they've got Well, you know what's mad? They've actually got Chelsea's ex-keeper, Georgia Petrovic, as their keeper in goal, replacing Kepa. And then Dean Howson's been replaced by, I forgot his name, the centre-back, this black guy, centre-back, I forgot his name. But listen, it just shows you what a top coach Iraola is. It shows you what a top coach is. I mean, how many games have Bournemouth lost this season? So Bournemouth have lost one game. Look at that. Bournemouth have lost one game, and that one game was the first game of the season against Liverpool. And Liverpool were quite fortunate in that game as well. So it just shows you what a top manager he is, man. Do I think Bournemouth sustain it for the whole season? You know, it's unlikely. I would like them to. I definitely would like them to because it makes it interesting. But you have to give credit to Iraola, man. To get a Bournemouth team that lost, you know, and Zabani as well. Zabani is another one, PSG. So he's lost 3 of his back 4 and his goalkeeper, and he's got them sitting in second place in the Premier League. Now, the one thing I would say, yeah, does that show how poor the Premier League is, or does that show how good Iraola is? Let me know in the chat, guys. The fact that Bournemouth are second after losing 3 players from their back 4 and their goalkeeper, and they find themselves second, is that more to do with the league being poor, or is it and only Iraola is that good? Because I think it's probably a bit of both. Because if you're losing 3 of your back 4 and you're in second place, that's saying a lot, man. For me, that's saying a lot. Let me know what you think. But yeah, he's a very good manager, man. Very good manager. I mean, as I think Semenyo's spoken about already. Semenyo's a problem. You know, Evan Nilsson up front works hard. You know, he can hold the ball up as well. Tavernier's got good left foot. You know, he can create. That Ellie Krupi, he's got a couple of. What's he got? 3 goals in his last 2 games. You know, he's a problem. They've got some decent players, man. Some decent players, and I think they're more of a team as well. They're more of a team. I think the league has been poor this season so far, but Bournemouth recruitment has been good for a while. Yeah, I agree. Bournemouth, Brighton, them teams recruit very good players. And but I definitely do think it's more to do with the league being poor this season. Because I don't care what anyone says, man. If you're losing your goalkeeper and 3 out your back 4, you shouldn't really be finding yourselves in second place, really, because it's a transition kind of thing for them. But it just shows how good of a manager he is, or a coach he is. And it shows that the league really isn't that great this season. It's not. I mean, the fact that a lot of teams are all on similar points and everyone's beating everyone, you know, people would say it's a competitive league, but is it really? Is it really? I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, the league has become competitive. I do agree to that. I do agree the league is very competitive. And I think when people say that the Premier League is the best league in the world, it's not. It's the most competitive league in the world, where you've got many teams that can compete that can compete for certain spots. But I think if you go and put the best teams from England up against the best teams from Spain or from France, probably Germany, Italy, I you know what? I'll be very interested to see how they get on, because I mean, if you're looking at Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool, and Chelsea, I'm saying those 4. If you put those 4 up against the best teams against Barca, Real Madrid, Atletico, Bayern Munich, Dortmund, PSG, Marseille, Inter, Napoli, you know what? I'll be very interested to see how those teams get on. So, but yeah, it's definitely the most competitive, man. 100%. It's definitely the most competitive. I would agree to that. I would. So, but yeah, guys, listen. Big up yourselves each and every time. Obviously, been going for an hour. I'm going to be back at 5:30 with Jonas. So yeah, make sure you guys come back through and obviously support the channel. And as I said, man, we got a lot of things to get through with him, because listen, he was stressed last week. He's about to be even more stressed this week. And again, I've been quite, easy with him, because, it's not easy losing 4 games in a row, man. And his team are in turmoil. And we're gonna see what he has to say, man. And guys, if you come back through at 5:30, if there's anyone that wants to jump on the stream, whether you're a Liverpool fan, Arsenal fan, United fan, let me know and I can send you the link through if you guys want to jump onto the stream and have a conversation with me and Jonas, because the pressure's about to be turned up on Liverpool tonight, boy, because yeah, man, they're in. Everyone thought, after that Eintracht Frankfurt game, they were back. It's showing you that they don't, that they ain't. And even look at Brentford as well, man. Brentford have been very good. Where are Brentford in the league? So Brentford are. Let's have a look where Brentford are. So Brentford are in. Yeah, Brentford are 11th, and they're on 13 points. I'm telling you, man, this league's not a joke this season. After 9 games, so. Yeah, big up, man. Big up, Fitz. Big up each and every time. So, yeah, guys, as I said, man, back at 5:30 with Jonas. As I said, make sure you guys come through. And again, if anyone wants to jump on the stream, let me know. And as always, make sure you sub to the channel if you're new in here. Share the channel. And make sure you smash the like button on your way out as well. And, yeah, I'll catch you guys back at 5:30. Take it easy.